Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My life is a mess and we're gonna figure out what I should prioritize this month to read. So there's kind of a lot going on in my work life right now. I have a lot of studying to do to become a licensed tax professional in the state of Oregon. So that's something that I'm working on, so I can't, as much as I would like to, read as much as I could. So I'm a little bit hesitant on things that I was unable to complete in June that are getting carried over, as well as like multiple themed reading vlogs that I have going on. So my life is falling apart a little bit. This will hopefully help keep it a little bit collected. Let's really quickly look at the board, talk about my June TBR and see how I did for that. So here on the board we have Still Sitting, signed edition, which I'm supposed to read God Killer. I'm hoping to read it at the end of July, but I just have not had the time to sit down. I think my brain is actually just like, wait until September when the audiobook comes out, which isn't helpful, but I feel like that's something that I'm doing. So that's gonna remain on the board. Buzzwordathon, the B, I was supposed to read Other Birds and I did not. I will. I'm gonna hopefully read it this weekend. I have a long weekend because of the holiday, and so I'll have plenty of time to kind of hopefully catch up. Oh, I know. So that's kind of the goal for that, is just catch up with my reading, but I will take a punishment for Other Birds because, whoops. I put it on my TBR at the beginning of the year, and now like the time to read it has come, and I'm just like, I don't want to read magical realism. It's fine. Favorite author. This was a carryover from previous months, and I was supposed to read The Starless Sea, and I've finally finished it. I finished like the last 15 or so percent on my own without Austin, and I just kind of clued him in, and I was super confused by the end. It's definitely a book I need to revisit. Can I still call Erin Morgenstern a favorite author? I don't think so. We'll see. The Dagger, badass female main character. I'm reading The Rose and the Dagger by Renee Audier. I am still in the process of it. I will finish it this weekend. I won't take a punishment just because I'm actively reading it still, but I've made a dent. So, decent on me there. Read a spooky book. I read The Last Hope in Hopetown. This is a middle grade, very short, very cute and sweet. I rather enjoyed it. I read it in a reading vlog if you're interested in that. And then read a book with an animal on the cover. I picked A Snake Falls to Earth by Darcy Little Badger. I've started. I haven't quite finished. I'm hoping to finish today. I actually want to go through all of my bookshelves and catalog everything that I own on Goodreads so it's more accurate. And that's a big project, so I'm going to finish listening to that audiobook whilst I do it. And then we've got a new release I picked. Oh. And for new release, I read Fourth Wing. We know I've read it. I haven't shut up about it for the past month. I think Fourth Wing is still the reason I'm in a slight book slump. Like, the book high has put me in a slump. I'm reading a lot of things. I'm not loving a lot of things. And even when I give something 5 stars, I'm not still, like, loving it as much. So yikes for me. But I read it. It was a good time. I've had a lot of fun talking about it and gushing over it. I promise I will get over that soon. And I will start talking about other things and not be so one-dimensional. Okay, so I also have 500 words a week. A girl's been studying her little booty off and reading a lot of books, so we're gonna keep pushing on. I don't think I'm gonna participate in Camp Nano for July, which I'm a little bit bummed about. I think it would be fun to work on my projects a little bit. We'll see. If I set like maybe like a really small goal, potentially, but I just don't know if it's something I can pull off. And then we've got my effect cards. I watched Heartstopper, so that counts for an adaptation. I did not listen to any podcasts. I just didn't have the time. It's audiobooks or nothing. I was in many reading sprints. I've also joined live reading sprints over on Daphne's channel, Being Daphne. So if you ever want to hang out with us, we sometimes go live. And we've been having a lot of fun doing that. I hopefully will be doing a live sometime in July for hitting 500. My brain was like, 5,000! No. 500 subscribers, I want to do live reading sprints or maybe a live Q&A. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. If you have ideas, let me know. If you want me to do live reading sprints, let me know. Anywho, create a reading playlist. I have done that. If you're interested in my music ever, I am a loser, and this loser uses SoundCloud and not Spotify because I don't really like Spotify. So if you want to ever find my music playlists, I primarily use SoundCloud. I'm working on converting my specific playlists onto Spotify, especially for my writing. So eventually I can talk about that in a future video. And then write or edit a chapter. I haven't written anything in so long. It's bad. It's rough. Yikes. Okay, last thing before we get started. I have 17 tokens right now. And usually once I reach 20 or 25, whatever it is, I get some kind of reward. Like I can buy a book or whatever. I've bought too many books. I keep saying that I'm on a book buying ban, and then I keep caving and I buy things. So I think we need to implement a rule that any book that I buy unjustifiably needs to remove tokens from me, because I've just started like buying things here and there, which isn't good. Not good at all. I need to slow my roll. So I think we're gonna punish me with removing tokens so that it's a bit harder to get to and accomplish, especially because in this game getting tokens is so incredibly easy and fast that it just makes sense. 8 in there for the 4 books that I bought for no good reason. Great, so let's draw the hand. If you are new to my TBR game, this is inspired by Disney Villainous. I call it biblious because we're all bibliophiles here. And so basically, oh, and I have to draw my, okay, anywho. So basically, I move to a location, I do the 4 actions on the space, and then I continue on. Each action, or each location allows me to play minimum 1 card. Each card correlates to a prompt. I also can pull effect cards for bonus fun things to do in reading vlogs and just throughout the month. And that's basically the gist. I will link the playlist in the description as well as like the first video, and I also have a Google Drive with the rules and all of the cards and prompts in case you are curious for better detail than what I'm providing right now. Let's pull that punishment for not completing Other Birds. So, read a book you've never seen on BookTube. Okay. I'm scared. I'm gonna have to think about that one. Oh no. Hi, my name is Sam, and I primarily get my books from BookTube. That's where I get a lot of my recommendations from my friends and of people of the like. This is going to be really hard. Okay. So there's some thrillers that I know are incredibly popular, but I've not seen anybody review on BookTube. Not saying that they haven't been. I just haven't personally seen them. And that's All Dangerous Things, and I have some questions for you. So I could read either one of those for this. I could also dip into my NetGalley and pick something from there, because those are obviously less read books. Let's see what's on my shelf. I'm falling behind on NetGalley, so I definitely need to step up on that. Okay, I don't want to read either of those two just yet because they're coming out way later in the year. Okay, so I have What the River Knows by Isabella Ibanez. I've got The Vampire of Knoll by William Becker. I've got Malthus, Necromancer Unchained by Casey Sutton. And then I have Night of the Raven, Dawn of the Dove by Raki Merotra. So I guess any of those would really work. It kind of depends on what I'm leaning towards. We'll see how the month goes. I'll pick up one of those though, okay? I'll contemplate that in my little brain later because, oof. Okay, so now I'm going to draw my hand to 4, and these are the ones that I can play throughout. So first we have Read a Hardcover. That one's really easy, thank goodness. Next we have Book Riot's Read Harder Challenge. Oh, I haven't looked at that once for this year. Next we've got a book featuring weather. Gain bonus tokens if it's current weather. It is currently super sunny and hot. And then finally, move a punishment to this location. So that's just an item. I don't really feel like I need to move any because I don't have too many out, thank goodness. Okay, so we're gonna move this one spot. We've got my little cactus guy. Take one token. I can pull one effect card, which is move any one card on the board to a new location. Okay. I don't feel like that matters too much right now. I can also discard, and I can play a card. So, I think I'm gonna discard, move a punishment, as well as the book riot's harder. Maybe I should look at it first. Let's do my due diligence. So this is done by a blog, Book Riot, which often promotes the reading of diverse authors and stories. So I think I'm going to do the prompt number, oh no, I've lost it, number 10, which is read a book you know nothing about based solely on the cover. And for this, I'm stepping a little bit out of my wheelhouse. I do have a theme reading vlog coming out, hopefully this late July. So I'm gonna pick Wayward by Emily Hart, I believe. Absolutely stunning, beautiful cover. And I know nothing about this except that it's historical fiction. So I'm gonna go into it very blind, but this cover is so pretty. I've been eyeing it for so long. Yes, it is out of my comfort zone, but genuinely, like, it's just so pretty. It's such a pretty cover, and therefore I'm going to check it out. I'm gonna listen to the audiobook. I'm not gonna buy it. I try not to buy just because covers are pretty. So that's the plan. Interesting. All right. I'm going to draw my hand back up to 4. So we've got use an additional action, use an additional action at puppy's location, and most anticipated. Ooh. So I just released my most anticipated books for the second half of the year video, so that might be something to check out. So I'm going to move to this next location. I'm going to draw my 2 tokens. I can draw another effect card. This is to read outside. Luckily the weather is so nice, and I haven't done that once this year, mostly because it makes the pages really bright and it hurts my eyes. Once I come to having too many options, I'm stressed. I'm going to play the most anticipated, and for this, I'm going to pick up The Last Word by Taylor Adams, who I recently learned is a man. He Riley Sagered me so bad. This is a story following an author and a reviewer. This reviewer gave an author a 1-star negative review, and so that author shows up and is like, hey, you need to take down that review. It's real nasty and it's ruining my business. And the reviewer is like, write a better book next time. Sucks to suck, bro. And then that reviewer starts getting stalked and is potentially a target for a murder. So I'm very excited. I've heard a lot about this recently, and people say it's a really fun time. It's very silly and critiques the industry and the thriller genre especially. So I'm very intrigued to see how this goes. I feel like it could be a love or a hate, but I'm very excited. This has been so many people's anticipated release, and I'm kind of like one of the last to finally get around to it. So that's on the TBR. How exciting. Alright, we're gonna move over here. I'm gonna take my 3. I forgot to draw a card. This is going to be a random word generator. Ooh, do I want to frick myself over? I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna play hardcover because a book I have to read this month is The Only One Left by Riley Sager. This is the July Literally Dead Book Club pick, and it's also like Riley Sager, so also highly anticipated. I've heard fantastic things about this. Absolutely everybody is loving it, which is so bizarre because the last 2 Sagers didn't go great. So I'm very excited to see how this goes for me. I've heard great things. I do not know what this one's about. I don't want to. Hopefully it's not an Agatha Christie and Then There Were None type of story, because I don't love those. But I'm excited. I have to read it, and I'm glad that it's on the TBR because I need to prioritize it. The audiobook is not gonna happen. It's like several months wait at Libby, so whew, great. Alright, and then I'm gonna move over here, take another token, draw my hand back up to 4. My favorite trope. What's my favorite trope? Okay, I can also pull another effect, which is collect 2 tokens. Oh goodness, thank goodness for that. Alright, and then I can play 1 card, and I think I'm gonna play favorite trope. And one of my favorite things about books that I've recently talked about on my channel is books about authors or publishing books about books. This also falls in, like, same with The Last Word. I'm getting a lot of thrillers this month. Interesting. Unintended. So this is Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. She's kind of short. She's super pretty and white. I am excited while also incredibly nervous for this one. This is getting pretty positive reviews. People are enjoying it. I've heard that the conclusion to it gets a little bit predictable thriller, but I do know this is kind of R.F. Kuang's first thriller, so maybe that's why. My concern is that I won't be able to stop comparing this to The Plot, which is a book that I really loved and I really enjoyed. I like the commentary, I like what it had to say, I thought it was very interesting, and the twist surprised me, it got me good. So I'm nervous that this one might not live up to it, or it'll be too similar. I don't know. I know that this is about 2 author friends, one of them which passes away, so the white author steals their story, and if you didn't know, R.F. Kuang, I believe, is Chinese, and so I'm assuming that the death of this friend, also Chinese or Asian at the least, who writes a story influenced by Asian experiences, and this white author publishes the story as their own, and takes the credit, and then it kind of goes from there. Again, I can't not stop thinking about The Plot, so I'm hoping that this can stand on its own 2 legs, but we will have to wait and see. I'm very excited, I'm very intrigued. I'm buddy reading this with Eliza, at least that's the plan. We'll see. I'm very excited though. Okay, and then we're going to draw the last card, a gifted book. I don't get a lot of gifted books, so that would be a bit challenging. Let's move here, take my last 2 tokens. Alright, last effect card. I don't need to do that, so we're just gonna discard it, not worry about it. I don't need to pull any specific card. If I was trying to defeat one of the punishments, I might want to look for an ally or an item to help boost that chance, but I'm pretty content with what we've got. Out of these options, I'm gonna be honest, they're not great. A book featuring weather, there's nothing in particular coming to mind that screams summer to me. I know I have one that's set on the beach, but I don't think I want to put that on my TBR officially. So I think I'm going to randomly generate a word, and that might screw me over. So we'll discard those, set them to the side. Let me pull up a random word generator. Oh no! Alright, random word generator. Ah! This could go so horribly wrong. I don't know why I'm doing this. The chaos is solely for the content. This is for you guys. Okay. Object. Oh, I don't think I'm gonna have a single book on my TBR with the word object. Okay, here's the thing. I will be pulling from books that, like, I want to read and have access to. If it's on my shelf, the better. So let's just go to my want to read. And we'll type in object. Nope. Alright. Randomly explode. Oh my god, we're gonna be here for a while. I so truly do not want to. Order? Okay, The Help by Catherine Stockett is a possibility. None of those work. New word. Island. I don't think I'm gonna have a book with island in the title either. Love. Okay, there's gotta be a good book with love, right? That seems generic. Okay, battery for my camera died. this TBR went horrible for me. So finally got a word with something that's on my TBR and accessible and somewhat interesting to me. I'll be reading Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood, which I said I would never read because I was not interested. But here we are. It's fine. It'll be fine. It'll be great. She hopes. Ali Hazelwood just recently announced that she's coming out with her werewolf vampire story, so I'm really excited for that whenever that happens. I want to say 2024. So that's very exciting. But until then, I guess I will read contemporary Ali Hazelwood. The audiobook is available on Libby. It's gonna take me like 5.5 hours to read. It'll be fine. It's just a little bit annoying. It's fine. Did I accomplish getting things that I actually needed on my TBR? On my TBR. No, not really. These 3 that I did just throw on the floor. 1 second. Oh no. This one was rough. This one went rough. It'll be fine, I'm sure. Manageable reads. They're things that I needed to read, and they're things that I'm interested enough in reading. I think Love on the Brain will actually be fine. I know plenty of what it's about. I actually really enjoyed the Love Hypothesis, so I think I'll get irritated, but I think it'll be fine. Oh, yeah. Overall, what a time. So, there's other things that I need to read in the month that I have not yet talked about. So, quickly, here we go. We have Riley Sager's newest book, The Only Ones Left, for my hardcover prompt. We've got Yellowface for favorite trope. We have The Last Word for highly anticipated. We've got Love on the Brain for my random word generated prompt. We've got Wayward, which was the Book Riot harder reading challenge. And then we've got my carryovers Other Bird and my Old Punishment Morning Star, which I will be making good progress in because Lightbringer comes out this month and I will be reading it, so there's no worries on that. So, whew. That concludes the official TBR. As for just like other things that I'm planning to read in this month, we have Summerween happening, which is hosted by Gabby Reads and Olivia Reads a Latte, and it's going from the 7th to the 10th, I believe. I will be reading Monster Volume 1. I want to read We Spread, potentially, and I really want to read Stolen Tongue. So those are the 3, like, definite reads. I also need to finish this in the month. This is supposed to be Pretend It's Blue. This is Jade Legacy, which I have to read for the Being Book Club, hosted by Being Daphne. I am co-hosting, so I kind of have to read them. Because that's the part of a host. So yes, I will be finishing this one because I haven't started, and I will be reading the Jade Legacy, which only slightly terrifying with how chunky they are. And then Sav's book club, the Lights Out book club, they're reading The Drowned Woman. I don't remember who this is by. I did just recently buy a copy because I'm so bad at buying books. I bought this hardcover from Aardvark, which is kind of like Book of the Month, but they don't do fantasy. So I ordered that for $4 with Michelle's Libraries code, so it's fine. It's totally okay. I'll be hopefully reading that, and then let me just glance if there's any other hard hitters. Oh yes, 7 Days in June. I will also be reading from the 12th to the 18th with Meredith and her Discord. They do monthly buddy reads, and I'm gonna participate, which I think is gonna be really fun. I've had 7 Days in June on my like loose TBR for quite some time, so that's very exciting. Anywho, I'm gonna just keep going. There's a lot of things to read. It's been a good time. I'm only super stressed. On top of all of this, I am studying, and let me just show you. I have to read all of this, which is a binder full of tax information, and this is only half of the course. Only half. So that's gonna take up basically my entire existence. So if you need me, I'll be reading something, whether it's enjoyable or not. It'll be reading something. It'll be fine. It'll be fun. How's your reading going? Please let me live vicariously through you. What's your reading plans? What do you got going on? I would love to know. I will be filming a July reset video here soon. Me, Eliza, and Daphne have been talking behind the scenes about doing these videos to get our lives together. So look out for that. That'll be coming out hopefully this week later. And that we can kind of organize more of the reads and go a bit more in depth of what's going on, a little bit behind the scenes of some reading vlogs that I've got planned. And yes, thanks so much for hanging out with me. This was a chaotic one. I don't know if I can film a TBR video that's not chaotic though, so buckle in, subscribe, and enjoy the ride. Thanks for hanging out. Goodbye. Have a nice day. See ya. Bye.